All right, y'all. Welcome back to Why'd You Buy That? This is episode 5. I'm trying out a different camera quality. I'm hoping that this fixes some of the blurriness on the cards. Um, we'll see. If not, trying something different on episode 6. But this is the series where I answer the question of why I bought this card. It's what my girlfriend asks me every time I get something and I'm excited about it. She's started off as really, kind of confused, and now it's gotten to more like reluctant acceptance, but just wants to, hear me talk about something I love. So I'll cheers and props to her. But it's also a question I really love to talk with other collectors about. And hopefully, as I do this series and get to bring on other collectors who share a passion for certain cards and can explain to others why they, pick this over something else. The opportunity cost of buying a big card for a collection is real and hard to quantify, and or it may be easy to quantify. There's plenty of other ways you can spend that money, but um, we end up doing it and getting a lot of joy out of it. So hopefully I can pull on some other collectors. You can hear from them and myself and learn a bit about how to find the cards in your collection that really mean something and kind of stick. I found that while doing this, sometimes I end up finding cards that don't really stick, and we'll see. This one I'm a little split on as I'm going into this, and I love it, but let's just get into it. So, if you like this video content, please subscribe, like, comment, share with a friend. It helps me reach more collectors, and that's what I'm hoping to do with this channel. So, let's get us over to the card. Okay. So, this here, you've seen it before. This copy looks excellent. I should have done that to you. Yeah, let's see that. Maybe you weren't looking right away. What what grade would you think that gets? Like that card looks spectacular. And as you think about eye appeal and um, own appeal, which is going on in the hobby these days, this has it in spades. There might be an imperfection that you notice, but if not, I'll talk about it in a second. There are no major creases. There may be like a surface wrinkle here or there, but not material. We can look at it in more depth in a second. No paper loss. Let's see. Is there? Yeah, there's like maybe a little bit of a wrinkle on top of his brim, but this card is authentic miscut according to SGC. I'm just going to put it down so I don't shake as much. The reason being, this card, as you can tell, if I put this up against the dark background, has a slant here, and it goes and it curves out, which when I see a card with a weird edge, it is usually reason to stay away from it because it often means trimmed card. They they miscut it, whatnot. That's the word, but like they cut it incorrectly and made a mistake. And I don't like having trimmed cards in my collection if I can avoid it, or noticeably trimmed, because I'm sure there's some that I own that I didn't know were trimmed. They were done very well. We all probably do. This one, though, is ostensibly, reasonably can be assumed, is a factory miscut because it is oversized, or at least the right size, and then has this additional paper on the edge. I have yet to look up where this sat in the uncut sheet. Like, we know that the Mickey and the Jackie were in an upper left corner in the 52. I don't know where he sits in this one, and I'm just realizing I should probably look that up. But it's got this funkiness to it, right? So it looks incredible Image is crisp, color is great. This is such a beautiful picture of Mickey. It's actually the 51 Bowman picture as well, um, just stylized and zoomed in. So it's one that people love and, came right after the 52. I have yet to own a 52 Mantle. It is on the list, but yeah, maybe I'll just get into it now. Like, it is hard for me to buy a unsigned vintage card for a significant amount of money and hold on to it. Um, it's just what I've learned about myself as a collector and an investor. I mean, in my day job, I spent 10 years as a private equity investor, and it is difficult to look at an unsigned vintage card and not think, okay, this is just going to track discretionary funds. People love to say it's going to be like the S&P. It is not. Um, this is a this is not an asset class. This is a speculative collectible. It's a hobby with a lot of rich collectors in it. And sure, you can find data that the 52 tops Mantle has outperformed the S&P. That is only because of the COVID spike. It is not hold up if the COVID spike does not happen. These cards, when they're unsigned and meaningful amounts of money, I think, well, there's just always a better one. There's just always going to be another one that I look at and see, man, that is spectacular. And then I look at mine and I think, it's not as nice. Like, I don't want to be comparative all the time. I know gratitude is important. I just don't know if I can like fully release that. When I look at another card that's, I buy a 5. I had a beautiful SGC 5 Hank Aaron, centered, amazing color, rough cut edge. That rookie on the 54, I loved it. It had this one like tiny surface scratch, and that's all I saw. Like, after a while, I just stared at that, and it was difficult for me to actually. It might have been a 6. Yeah, I think it was a 6. And it was difficult for me to continue to enjoy it. And I just started thinking, like, oh, I spent $10,000 on this card. That could be earning real money elsewhere. It's safer, more liquid in the stock market. This card, it's meaningful to me, but now I'm just staring at it and I'm like, there's 300 others that look just like it and maybe better, probably thousands, I don't even know. And I know there are demand side collectors out there, people who don't care about all that stuff, and they're just like, this is a beautiful card, and I don't care if other people own it, but I want it. It's my grail or whatever, and that's awesome. I want to hear from those people, celebrate those people. For me personally, when I own a card, I want it to when it is significant in value, 5,000 plus, 10,000 plus, I want it to be special. And that makes me feel comfortable that it is a card that isn't just going to track up and down with the market. And so that makes unsigned vintage, like the 52 tops Mantle, just not that interesting to me as a collector. I think one day I'll own the 52 tops Mantle and I'm probably going to sell it or trade it. Ideally, one day I can spend $50K and not care about it. Could be performing better elsewhere. But right now, if I put that much into a card, I want to feel really good that it's got that like edge over the other cards that are similar to it. Or it's just so rare and unique that it has some defensibility and durability in the market. So that's a lot about value in markets that I wasn't really expecting to go into here, but I just got on a rant. So excuse me. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at this card for that long. Okay. As it relates to 53 tops, I always thought this was a beautiful card. It I think this is the fourth or fifth one that I've owned. And this one I have yet to sell just because it does feel a little special. And it is not breaking the bank. I think I spent 2,100 on this. And that was, that's the amount of money that, like, for me and the way I hobby, like, that's just an okay, that's fine. I'll spend that on a card. And when it's a really attractive card like this, I know that I can get close to that out of it one day. So the reason it's special to me is that it is got this thing that I really love. I'm sure you've heard of it, the Japanese idea of wabi sabi. So it's this, I mean, I'm probably going to butcher it, but the summary is there's beauty in the imperfections. I don't want to say perfectly imperfect, but just saying, hey, there's flaws as a normal part of life. Nothing in nature is pristine and are flawless, and we should appreciate things even with their flaws and maybe for their flaws. So this card has that, like, oh, it's kind of funky, weird, miscut. I had a good friend, Nate at In Cardboard Veritas. He called it the Dolly Mantle, kind of dripping clock type look to it. It's like a dripping card almost. If I were to hold it, like that, can you see how it's almost like I'm pouring the card out. I don't know. So it just feels like it is beautiful eye appeal and, just funky enough for me to hold on to it and not be too worried about, oh, there's so many others, or I could put this money towards something else. And, that's more or less why it's still here. And that's why I'm a little split. It's like, I do love the card, but it's not signed. And I really like my vintage cards to be signed, knowing that the player held it and it's got that rarity to it. I don't know. As I stare at it here, I do really like it. I think you're probably watching me real time, just be like, this is the card I got to hold on to. It's so pretty. And I've talked myself further into the dripping mantle being unique enough for me to hold on to. So that's why I bought it. Let me know if you agree, disagree. I'm sure I threw a couple of you guys off with the market comments, and you probably disagree with me, but I'll debate that anytime. And I'd love for you to comment, like, subscribe, help me reach more collectors, share this with a friend. If you think you want to be on or know a friend who wants to be on or would be great for this, please do reach out on my Instagram, which is right here. I will make myself bigger here. That's my Instagram. And then, or comment on the video, and I'll get back to you. So thanks, y'all. Happy collecting.